Fun weekend. That was Sunday. The day before that, Bryce, happened to have been Saturday.
Correct.
And Saturday is the day that we fill up with Big 12 college football.
That's why we're here.
We had some teams show and flex their muscles. We had some teams get big wins despite even some rocky play. And we had some teams that are digging themselves deeper and deeper into a hole.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Yeah. Why the hell not? Who knows? We're going to start with OU again.
That's
weird.
Yep.
We talked about it last week. I don't know. Somehow OU continually is just at the top of the list that NCAA football scoreboard comes out with. So when I type up my notes, that's what comes out. But we got Texas Tech at OU. Again, kind of this was the fresh off the fire, and it was all OU.
It was all OU, and even more than that, it was all Caleb Williams. People were saying, okay, he comes into Texas, you catch lightning in a bottle, and they win. He brings them back. The following week, plays phenomenal at home, right? Then you go up to Lawrence, Kansas, and the Oklahoma offense really didn't get going until midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Did we make the right decision? Is Lincoln Riley as smart as everybody thinks? Blah, 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 blah. It was the maddest fan base for an 8-0 team that I've ever seen in my life were the Oklahoma Sooner fans. Now, you get back at home, you play a Texas Tech team that's a little battered, a little bruised, lost their head coach, and Oklahoma flexed their muscles on them on Saturday. 6 touchdown passes, tying a freshman school record for Caleb Williams. He looked poised. He looked confident.
Yeah.
He looked like he had been out there for 4 years. It was impressive. And, you look back when Spencer Rattler was playing and Oklahoma was really just skating by, and Lincoln Riley in a post-game press conference, he had a little smirk on his face, and he said, I like this team. Now, we didn't know what was going to transpire with Caleb and the QB switch and all this, but we're now in championship November, and Oklahoma, if they continue this, is playing really good football.
Yeah, I agree. To me, this was the most complete game, right? We saw a complete half when Caleb Williams came in against Texas. This was the most complete game. I just felt like, defense forced 3 turns. And again, it's Texas Tech, which is still they were 5-3 coming in, which we were talking about on the podcast. Kind of an interesting time to fire a coach, but this was, to me, the first complete game that OU has played from start to finish, and they just did it in a way that they really just took what the defense gave them. And I'm not sure, we were talking pre-show about the 2 quarterbacks, which we get to talk about again in this game. But what was unique was that they had a passing attack. Now, I don't know if that was just they saw something in Texas Tech's defense coming into the game that, hey, and we always loved that. Coach comes up and says, hey, Trevor, it's gonna be your show. And I always loved it when Browse came to me and said, hey, we're gonna be throwing the ball. We did that most times anyways, but it honestly was what was different about this is they scored it a lot of different ways. It wasn't
a lot of different guys.
That's right.
Too,
that's right. It wasn't just bombs over Baghdad or anything like that. I mean, the guy was 23 of 30, 402 yards and 6 touchdowns, like you said. Ties a record. He's now in the record books with Landry Jones. Kyler Murray only got to beat him with Baker Mayfield, so it's pretty dang good company there. But to your point, he looked really poised. He looked, again, like he's having fun, which I love watching him. That's what's most fun to me, I think, is watching him because he just looks like he's having fun.
And the way that the team responds to him.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back, Marvin Mims, right? The guy just produces. And up until the Texas game when Caleb came in, he didn't have a touchdown. Right? Now, I mean, this week, 4 receptions, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, making plays all over the place. There is something about Caleb Williams that mimics what Baker was able to do, what Kyler was able to do, even what Jalen Hurts was able to do, and make the guys around him better.
Right.
This team is looking really, really good. Obviously, always a question mark on the defensive side, but if the defense can play well, I think they're putting themselves in a position to, make a run here when they got to play Baylor here in a couple weeks, which is going to be a huge game down in Waco. You got to play Bedlam still. You've got to play, Iowa State. You've still got some big matchups on the schedule, which I know we'll get into, and we got into a lot last week on how does this all shape up. But they are starting to play their best football in November, and that's what you have to do to be a potential college football playoff team.